Namaskara, welcome to my class and hello to everybody. I hope you are all ready to learn mathematics in this session, especially geometry. It's so colorful and interesting. In this class, we will learn elementary shapes in chapter 5. In this chapter, 4 sessions are there and this is your first session. Shall we start now? Before that, leave all your stress out and concentrate on this class only. Please avoid other disturbances. Then only you can learn and understand it better, isn't it? Now, let us focus on today's session. In this session, we are going to learn to draw line segment, comparison of line segment by observation, tracing and by using ruler and a divider. And also know about instrument box and its uses. From the previous class, just you remember what are closed and open figures. Here on the screen, some of the figures are shown. You have to identify closed and open figures. When I am showing the figure, you have to recognize and say what is that loudly from your place itself. Anyway, I can't hear you, but I can guess that you are all saying correct. Okay? We'll see the first one. Here, see here, first one, is it a closed or open figure? Yes, it is a closed figure. See the second one, it's a line. Is it open or closed? Yes, definitely it's a open figure. See in the third one, the line is enclosed here. So we can say it a closed figure. See in the fourth one, you can see two ends here. So definitely it's a open figure. And in the fifth one, this is also has two ends. It's a line. So we can call it as open figure. And in the sixth one, yes, obviously it's a closed figure. You observe in the seventh figure, the circle is incomplete here. So definitely we can say that it's a open figure. Yeah, it's a donut and it's a closed figure. We'll see the next one. Now let us see, some examples are awaiting for you. You have to recognize how are they made of, by straight lines or curved lines. Then what are straight lines and curved lines? This you have learnt in your previous classes. Just you recall it. We'll see the first example. It's a Christmas tree. You observe the edges of this tree. How will you draw this? Yes, by using some straight lines and some curved lines. We'll see the next one. It is a kite. This is also drawn by straight lines only. Inside the kite, there is a circle and it's a curved line. Yes, it is a TV. You can identify many outlines here. Most of them are straight lines. Inside that, some curved lines are also there. Now you observe the edges of this tabletop. The edges are straight only. See here, it's a very commonly seen in most of the houses. What are these? These are CDs. You observe the edges of these CDs. Is it not curved? Yes, it is curved. These are circular discs. We have another example. It's a globe. Here also you can see curved lines. We'll see the next one. It's a basketball. The pattern on that ball you observe carefully. How are they? Yes, they are curved lines. See here. It's a picture of a beautiful house. Here you observe the grill gates, door frames and the pattern on the ventilators. You can identify some straight lines and also some curved lines here. By using these lines itself, they have given a beautiful outlook to the house, isn't it? See here. Curved lines are using to make beautification and draw doodles. You can observe how the curved lines and straight lines are used to make a beautiful iron framework here. So these lines make great designs and beautifies our surrounding. So the lines are not just simple lines. We can create wonders. With the help of these lines, we can create different shapes. Now we will learn how to use these lines to make different shapes. See here, you are seeing many basic shapes here. Circles are there, rectangles are there, oval shape is there, one trapezium is also there, and some straight lines are also there. Is it looking beautiful? No, but we can make it beautiful by arranging all these in appropriate manner. Now you see, wow, it's a train. Like this, you can also create amazing pictures. We'll see the next one. Here also I have taken some basic shapes. What is this? It's a rectangle. It has 4 sides and 4 corners. And what is this? Yes, it is a triangle. And what is this? Yes, correct, it is a circle. By using only these 3 shapes, can we create an interesting picture? Let's try it. Here I am taking rectangle first. Now I will put circle here. We'll take one more circle here. How it looks like? Any guess? Now I am taking triangle and placing here. And one more triangle on that corner. Now I think you have got the idea what I am going to create. See, finally I am placing another triangle here. This completes the picture. Yes, it's a colorful fish. Children, like this, you also create some more pictures using these basic shapes only and enjoy. From this, we will understand what are basic shapes and how are they made. We'll see the first one. It's a triangle. How many sides are there? Yes, there are 3 sides. How many corners are there? That is also 3. How many vertices are there? That's also 3. So, by joining 3 line segments, the shape formed is called a triangle. Here, tri means 3. That means it has 3 vertices, 3 sides and 3 angles. Did you understand, children? Suppose if we join only 2 lines, then what would be the shape? Imagine. Yes, it would be like this. It's an open figure. So, we need at least 3 line segments to form a closed figure. Did you understand, children? We'll see the next example. What is this? It's a square. How many sides are there? 4 sides. How many corners are there? 4 corners. And how many vertices? Yes, that is also 4. Since it has 4 corners and 4 sides and 4 vertices, we call it as square. We'll see the next one. This shape you would see in our daily life very commonly. For example, blackboard, duster, your instrument box, brick and shape of the bus and so on. So what is this? It's a rectangle. And since it has 4 vertices and 4 sides and 4 corners, we call it as rectangle. Then what is the difference between square and rectangle? Yes, correct. In square, all the sides are equal. But in rectangle, only opposite sides are equal. Let us understand line segments now. We are seeing line segments in our daily life everywhere. Here are some examples for line segments. You observe the edges of all these pictures. These are examples for line segments. Here you observe the edges of all these pictures. We call it as line segments. We'll see the next one. Now we will understand how to draw a line segment. Let us take one line. As you know that line is endless on both sides. We can extend on both sides infinitely. We'll put a point on the line. Let's call it as end point A. We'll put one more point on the same line on the other side of the line. It becomes end point B. So we have 2 reference points on this line, A and B. We can measure the distance between A and B using a ruler. So the distance between A and B is 5 centimeter. So we can say that the line segment AB is 5 centimeter. Now we'll see the definition of line segment. A line segment is a section of a line that has 2 definite endpoints, hence can be measured. Now we will learn how to measure a line segment. In the earlier chapters, we have already studied what are line segments. It is a fixed portion of a line, hence it is possible to measure it. The measure of the line segment is called its length. Using this idea, we can compare line segments by different methods. We'll see what are those methods. There are 3 methods to compare line segments. First one is comparison by observation. Second one is comparison by tracing, and third one is comparison using a ruler and a divider. We'll see one by one. Now we will study first method, comparison by observation. Let us take two line segments PQ and RS. Can you say which one of the two line segments is shorter? Is it necessary to measure these lines to compare? No, not necessary, because we can compare line segments simply by looking at them. Observe these two line segments. It is clear that PQ is shorter than RS by usual judgment. This is called comparison by observation. We will see the next method. But sometimes we cannot be sure about our judgment. For example, you see here, we have two line segments AB and CD. Can you say which one of these two line segments is shorter? Is it difficult? Yes, because these two are almost same in length. In this picture, we cannot be sure which line segment is greater than the other just by looking at them. It is not clear from observation. You cannot always be sure about your usual judgment. So, we need better methods of comparing line segments. Now, we will learn the second method, comparison by tracing. You might have tracing papers while copying a map or some picture by keeping a transparent sheet on it, isn't it? The same method we are using here to compare two line segments, that is comparison by tracing. Here we have two line segments AB and CD. Can you say which one of the two line segments is longer? It is not clear from observation which one is longer. So now we will take a piece of butter paper which is semi-transparent or translucent in nature. We will place it on CD. Now we will trace CD on tracing paper and place it on AB. Now we can easily tell that AB is greater than CD. In this method, we have to trace another line segment and keeping on the first one and compare these lines. Accuracy of this method depends upon the accuracy of the trace. Also, it is hectic to trace a line segment every time we want to compare it. So, we need a better method. So, we have another method to compare two line segments. Before that, we will study about instrument box and its uses in geometry. We come across a number of shapes in our day-to-day life. You are already aware of some basic shapes such as triangles, rectangles, circles and so on. Different figures have characteristic properties such as length, breadth, diameter, etc. To measure all these and for construction of different shapes, we need some geometrical tools. So now we are going to discuss some important maths tools which are used in geometry for construction of different shapes. First one is a ruler or scale. It's also known as straight edge. A ruler is used to construct straight lines and measure the length of a line segment. It can also be used to measure the distance of the object. Next one is a compass. It's a V-shaped tool that holds a pencil on one side of the V and a pointer on the other side. The distance between the pencil and the pointer is adjustable. It is used to trace arcs, circles and angles. It is also used to mark equal lengths. Compass is one of the mathematical tools which is used to draw a geometrical figure such as a circle, and it is also used in the intersection of line segments. Next one is divider. It looks similar to the compasses with its V-shaped structure. However, it has pointers on both ends of the V. The distance between them is adjustable and it is used to measure and compare lengths. Next one is protractor. It is a semicircular disc used to draw and measure angles. It is graduated from 0 to 180 degrees and can be directly used to measure any angle within its range. It has two sets of markings, 0 to 180 degree, from left to right and vice versa. Next one is set squares. Set squares are also one of the maths tool which is found commonly in geometry box. There are two kinds of set squares available. One has an angle of 45 degree and the other has 60 degree. With the help of set squares, we can draw parallel lines, perpendicular lines, make some standard angles and so on. Now let us understand how a line segment can be measured using a ruler. Look at this ruler. Let's understand the markings on the ruler. It's marked along its edges. It is divided into 15 equal parts. Each of these 15 parts is called a centimeter. It is written as 1 centimeter. Each centimeter is again divided into 10 equal parts. Each of them is called a millimeter or 1 millimeter. We can say that 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeter. If the measurement of a line segment is 4.6 centimeter, that means it has 4 centimeter and 6 millimeter length. Now let's take an example and learn how to draw a line segment of length 5.8 centimeter. First, keep your scale properly and take a sharpened pencil and start drawing a line from 0 till the required measurement reached. Let's name it as P and S. So, this line segment PS is equal to 5.8 centimeter, or we can say it as PS is equal to 5.8 centimeter.
Now, join the points M and N to form line segment MN and mark it as 4.8 centimeters. Now, let's solve another example. Draw a segment AB of 7.7 centimeters. Segment AB of 7.7 is drawn like this. After learning about how to draw line segments, let us now focus on how we measure the lengths of line segments. Let's measure the length of segment MN. Keep 0 of the ruler at point M. We count forward from 0 to 15. Look, point N of the segment coincides with the 6th division after 10 centimeters on the ruler. Thus, we say that segment MN is 10.6 centimeters long. We read it as length of segment MN is equal to 10.6 centimeters. We write it as shown. Now let's solve another example. Measure the line segment XY. Thus, we say line segment XY is equal to 5.3 centimeters. It was so easy drawing and measuring line segments.
Now we will understand how errors occur in measuring lengths and how to avoid such errors while measuring line segments. You see in this animation, pencil is placed from the edge of the scale. If we draw a line from this point, we will get 3.7, which is a wrong measurement. So what we have to do? We have to draw a line always from 0, and this is correct method. Children, you observe the ruler in this picture. Sometimes we place it slantly. So the measurements can go wrong if the ruler is not placed right, isn't it? So if we draw a line from this position, we will get a wrong measurement. This method is not correct. So what we have to do? We have to place it properly. Then we have to draw a line, so we will get correct measurement, isn't it? Measurements can go wrong if the person taking measurement views it from a wrong angle. You are watching scale on the screen and I will give one reference point. Let it be the house. And now we'll measure how far is this house from 0. Let our reference point be the tip of the roof of this house, okay? Normal human view is like this. We can see only binocular vision and possible to see that view only. See the human vision area in this animation. This much area we can see properly. If we see from slant position like this, what will happen? We read it as 3.9 centimeter from this position. This is also wrong. See from this position, this is also cross only. If you see and measure from this position, you will read as 4.1 centimeter. This is also wrong. Note that we can directly use the ruler, but to get correct measure, the eye should be correctly positioned just vertically above the mark. Otherwise, the error can happen due to angular weaving. So, this is the correct position for reading scale or ruler, that is 4 centimeter. So, now you have understood the errors of reading a ruler and correct position of reading a ruler also. A better way to measure a line segment is to use the divider. First, we take a pencil and draw a line like this. Let's call it as AB. It is a line segment AB. Now, we have to measure this AB using a divider. First, we have to open the divider and place it on AB such that the sharp end of one arm of the divider is on A and the sharp end of the other arm is on B. Without disturbing the adjustments, lift the divider and place it on the ruler. Ensure that one point of the divider is on 0 mark of the ruler. Now, read the mark against the other end point of the divider. So, we got 6 centimeter. So, the measurement is 6 centimeter. So, now we got the accurate measurement of line segment AB, that is 6 centimeter. This method is accurate as well as convenient. Now, let us compare two line segments using ruler and a divider. Here I have taken two line segments MN and PS. We have to compare these two line segments. Which method will you prefer to compare these two line segments? What are the methods you learnt? Yes, first method is observation. But it is not clear from observation because these two are almost equal. So, we will go to the second method. What is the second method? Yes, by tracing. But I already told you it is hectic to trace every time we want to compare. So, the third method is the best method, that is comparison using ruler and a divider. Now, we will take divider and place it on MN such that one end of the divider is on M and the other end of the divider is on N. Without disturbing the adjustments, lift the divider and place it on the ruler. Ensure that one end point is on 0. Now, read the mark against the other end point of the divider. So, we got the measurement of MN is 1.9 centimeter. Like the same way, measure the line segment PS in the same manner. So, the measurement of PS is 2 centimeter. Now, it is very clear which line segment is longer and which one is shorter. So, it is clear that PS is greater than MN. Did you understand, children? So, like this you can compare any two line segments very clearly and easily. Based on the points we discussed today, we will take up some example and verify it. First one, draw any line segment, say MN. Take any point O lying in between MN. Measure the lengths of MO, ON and MN. Is MN is equal to MO plus ON? Let us solve it. First, I will take a line segment and name it as MN. I will put one dot. I will place a point O in between Mn like this. Now we have to prove that MO plus ON is equal to Mn. For this, we have to measure the distance of MO and ON first, so that we can prove by adding these two equal to line segment Mn, isn't it? So, what is the technique we have learnt to measure line segments? Yes, using divider and ruler method. Now, measure ON. What is the reading? Yes, that is 1.9 centimeter. In the same way, we will measure MO, that's equal to 2.8 centimeter. Now you will measure Mn in the same manner. What is it? Mn is 4.7 centimeter. So now we will verify by adding these values. MO is 2.8 centimeter plus ON is 1.9 centimeter, then it is equal to Mn 4.7 centimeter. By adding MO and ON, we get the same value, that is 4.7 centimeter. Hence, we proved Mn is equal to MO plus ON. Here we have another problem. In this picture, you have to verify whether D is the midpoint of AG or not. It is very simple and very easy to do. First, we have to measure the distance of D from A. So, AD is equal to 3 units and the distance of D from G is, that is also 3 units. So, we can say that D is equidistant from both A and G. So, D is the midpoint of AG. Understood? So, we have learnt about line segments, how to draw line segments, how to measure line segments and how to compare line segments with different methods. So, now it is time to wind up the class. Before that, I will give you some home assignments. Do it at home immediately after this session. Take down the home assignment. First one, take any postcard, use the technique what we have learnt in this class to measure its two adjacent sides. Measure all sides of the instrument box using a divider and a ruler. Third one, how many triangles are there in this picture? Now it is time to say bye to you all. Stay home, be safe and don't stop learning. Thank you. By Sunita P, TGT, GMPS Jaraganalli, Bangalore South 3.